I always knew something was off. The mileage on her car didn't make sense. The kids talked about visits that couldn't possibly be happening that often. And when I finally uncovered the truth, it wasn't just my wife's life that came crashing down. It was her lover's entire world. If you've ever had someone lie to your face and treat you like a fool, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where karma doesn't just knock. It kicks the door in. Because what you're about to hear, it's one of the most devastating, emotionally satisfying takedowns of a cheater and the man she thought she was hiding. Way back in the early 2000s, life was supposed to be normal. My wife and I had 2 kids, just 4 and 6 years old, young enough to be innocent, but old enough to tell me about their day. And lately, they kept saying the same thing. Mom took us to Grandma and Grandpa's house again today. At first, I didn't think much of it, but then it started happening a lot, like 2 or 3 times a week. Now, here's the thing. Her parents lived about 90 minutes away. It wasn't around the corner. And my wife only worked part-time. So what exactly was she doing all those other days? When I asked her about it, she shrugged, said the kids were probably just confused. But she wasn't a good liar. Not to me. So I started watching. Quietly, I began checking the mileage on her car. Week after week, it wasn't even close. She was driving an extra 400 miles a week. That's not running errands. That's a whole second life. Still, I said nothing. Then one afternoon, she made a mistake. She left a sticky note by the family computer. Her AOL password, written down, in plain sight. I stared at it. My hands started shaking. But my gut already knew. I opened her email, and there it was. Emails between her and her college best friend. Full of gossip. Full of filth. She was having an affair with one of her ex-boyfriends from high school. They talked openly about meeting up, sleeping together. And worst of all, she made fun of his wife, called her fat, mocked her for letting herself go after having kids. It was cruel, ugly, and worse, she enjoyed it. I printed every email, and I called someone who could help me go even deeper. A cop buddy of mine recommended a guy named Ron, ex-law enforcement, now a private investigator. Ron was sharp. I gave him the emails, the pattern, everything I had. He got to work, and in just a few days, he gave me the full truth. She dropped the kids off at her parents' place, legitimately, then meet this guy for lunch. Then they'd check into a rundown motel for a few hours. Then she'd swing back, pick up the kids, and come home like nothing ever happened. Dates, times, photos, license plates. I had it all. That was the moment I called my lawyer. Hired him on the spot. Got the divorce papers drafted. I'd seen what cheating did to families. My own parents destroyed each other with affairs. I wasn't going to repeat that legacy. But I wasn't done. I wanted to know who this guy was. And once again, Ron delivered. His name was Bob. Married. 3 kids. Worked as a vice president of sales for his father-in-law's company. Oh, and the house he lived in? Owned by his wife's parents. This man had everything handed to him and threw it away for motel room sex. So I made a decision. The day my wife got served with divorce papers, I made sure it happened at her job, in front of everyone. No warning, no explanations, just pure, cold truth. And Bob, Ron met with his wife the same day. Sat her down, showed her the whole report, the emails, the photos, the receipts, everything. Her reaction? Stone cold, like she suspected and just needed confirmation. Then the storm hit. She emptied their joint bank account, took the kids, vanished. Bob came home to nothing. Then it got worse. Her father, the man who gave him the job, fired him. Immediately. No discussion. No second chances. And the house? Evicted. He had nowhere to go. Then came the divorce proceedings. And they were nasty. Fighting in court. Fighting outside of court. Cops were called. Restraining orders were filed. At one point, Bob tried to force his way into the house. Started yelling. His ex-wife's brother came outside and broke his nose. Police criminal charges, even jail time. He imploded his own life, and I didn't have to lift a finger. Today, Bob's a ghost. No job, no house, no family, no digital footprint. Last I heard, he left the state. His ex-wife took over her dad's company, doing just fine. As for me, I kept things civil with my ex for the kids' sake. Now that they're grown, I don't speak to her at all. I don't hate her. I don't miss her. She's just irrelevant to me now. But Bob will remember this for the rest of his life. He lit the match. All I did was make sure the wind blew in the right direction. If the story gave you chills, smash that like button. Tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And subscribe for more true stories where justice isn't just served, it's served cold.